Mel Gibson at his office, and as of today, he is 2.5 months sober. By the way, no questions were off limits. July 28th.
Yes, a day to remember.
How did that day start?
Much like any other day, I went to work, you know, saw a bunch of people, had a screening, met with a friend of mine. He screened his film for me.
And then what?
Well, of course, I guess I must have been a little overwrought. So, and that's what happens, too much pressure, too much work. You do things that go against good judgment. So, that's it. A few drinks later, and I was in the back of a police car wailing, so.
A few drinks later, do you know how many?
No, I don't. But I know it was tequila.
How long had you been drinking again?
A couple months. Years go by, you're fine. And then all of a sudden, in a heartbeat, in an instant, on an impulse, somebody shoves a glass of mezcal in front of your nose and says, "It's from Oaxaca." And you go, "What?" And it's burning its way through your esophagus, and you go, "Oh man, what did I do that for? Can't put the toothpaste back in the tube."
Were you drinking from the open bottle of tequila in the car?
Yeah. I had a couple of slugs, yeah.
So how drunk were you?
It's not a question of how drunk you are, or you're impaired. Your judgment is impaired enough to do insane things like try and drive at high speeds. Even a couple of drinks, you lose all humility. Everything is just, you become a braggart and a blowhard. And
yeah, one of the things you said was about owning Malibu.
Yeah, oh yeah. Right. Yes, I own this place, as I sat in the back of a police car with my hands cupped on.
And then, as the officer arrested him, a tirade against Jews. Take me back to that moment as you remember it then. Officer James Mee.
Mm-hmm.
Did you know him? Did you know he was Jewish?
No, I don't think so. Yeah. I don't think so. I found out later. But that's, you know, all.
Why would you have asked him that?
I don't know. You see, it's all, I didn't know if he was or wasn't. I mean, I said horrible things to him. And he was pretty patient.
These are the words.
Mm-hmm.
How horrible does he think they were? I read to him the officer's account of the words he used that night. Expletive Jews. And to Officer Mee, "Are you a Jew?" And the Jews are responsible for all the wars in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Are those anti-Semitic words?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. It sounds horrible. And I'm ashamed of that. That came out of my mouth. And I'm not that. That's not who I am, you know.
We have a world in which alcohol is used to excuse behavior.
It's always, well, alcohol is used to kill pain. And it is no excuse, by the way. It's not a good enough excuse.
If the police officer had been black...
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Maybe. I don't know.
What would you have said?
Who knows? I'd have to get loaded again and tell you. And then be in those conditions again. Because it's unpredictable what's going to come flying out. At the police station, still angry, he said to a female sergeant, "What do you think you're looking at?" Adding a reference to her breasts. I've heard people say, you know, "I am a angry drunk." Fill in the blank. I am a happy drunk until I snap for no reason and just turn. Where does this anger come from? I have no idea. Just I've been angry all my life. And I try not to have it manifest itself, you know. You try and keep a lock on it. And it really isn't, it's real back there someplace. And, you know, I've talked to people about that. Like, where is it coming from, this anger? And I can get really mad about, I can murder inanimate objects. You should see me choking the toaster in the morning. You know, so I'm kind of a work in progress right now, so you got me a little green. See? I mean, I just got out of the straitjacket with the messy hair and everything. So. The mugshot. Yeah, the mugshot. The first thing that went through my mind was like Nick Nolte's photograph. So I did my best with a finger combing in the water fountain to sort of like splash a little water on my face to not take one of those hideous mugshots, because I knew it would be around. So, vanity won out. You know. The first time Gibson was arrested drunk was 1984 after rear-ending a car. He entered AA in 1991. But he has talked about his suicidal despair at relapsing. His family has had to endure it all.
And this time, the added horror of watching the news about the bigoted words.
Oh, I just went home, and some of my kids were there, and, you know, I talked to them for a little bit, and it was a little rough that morning. So I chased it down with a few cold ones, you know, in the full knowledge.
That morning?
Oh, yeah. It was kind of unbearable to face. So it was something I thought, well, this is it. This will be the end of it, but I just have to get through this morning, you know.
But wait a minute. You talked to your kids while you were slugging down more to get through it?
You're not operating well, but, you know, you have to do something. And, I mean, I wasn't sort of, you know, flashing in front of them or anything, but...
What do you say? Is I'm sorry?
Yeah, you do. I've apologized more than anyone I know, so it's getting old. And
how long's your list of apologies necessary?
Oh, huge. For my whole life.
How did you tell your wife?
I just told her, you know, straight out. Slipped again, yeah. And she was like, of course, you know, she doesn't like that. But she was, you know, gracious, compassionate.
Her name is Robin. They have been married 26 years and have 7 children.
You said once that she gets the medals.
Yeah,
because she is the one who hopes.
Yeah. She hopes, she bears the brunt, and it's no different this time, so there you have it.
How many times can you ask her?
Boy, I don't know. Good question. I don't know the answer to it.
He says the torment is every time that you relapse, it's harder to fight your way back.
The risk of everything, life, limb, family, is not enough to keep you from it. That's the hell of it. You are indefensible against it. If your nature is
you
one of
will
alcoholism.
sacrifice
Anything. So you must keep that under arrest, in a sense. But you cannot do it of yourself. And people can help, yeah. But it's God. You got to go there. You got to do it. Or you won't survive. That's all there is to it. Look, this whole experience, in a way, for me, I'm sort of viewing it now as a kind of a blessing, because...
A blessing?
Yeah. Well, firstly, I got stopped before I did any real damage to anyone else. Thank God for that. I didn't hurt myself. You know, I didn't leave my kids fatherless. That's good. That's a blessing, okay? The other thing is, sometimes you need a cold bucket of water in the face to sort of snap to. Because you're dealing with a sort of a malady of the soul, an obsession of the mind, and a physical allergy. And some people need a big tap on the shoulder. In my case, public humiliation on a global scale seems to be what was required.
Humiliation for him, outrage from others, and a lot of questions about alcohol revealing who you really are. People say alcohol just liberates you to say what you really feel. It's what you really feel. It's not changing.
Well, that's patently false, I think, because it's like alcohol loosens your tongue and makes you act, say, and behave in a way that is not you.
Somebody said, I do not believe tequila can turn an unbiased person into a raging anti-Semite. Alcohol removes inhibitions in vino veritas.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's the old Roman saying, in vino veritas, yeah. Well, they don't know what they're talking about. That's as simple as that is. Or they don't have the problem and they don't understand it.
Again, there are lots of people who get drunk and don't say anti-Semitic things.
Oh, yes, there are. People say all sorts of horrible things.
No, but who
about anything. And not just anti-Semitic things. They say horrendous things. They say to their parents, I hate you and I want you to die. And, you know, I mean, they don't mean that stuff. It's the stuff that comes out when you're loaded it's extreme.
But if it's not in you, is it going to come out?
It has to have some kind of place somewhere. And you have to ask, where is it coming from? Where is it coming from?
And that is exactly where we will begin tomorrow. So he admits they were bigoted statements. He admits that they were in him. Tomorrow we debate where they came from.